Let's talk about ballistics. Turkey loads. Why I use steel. Here I'll shoot a standard steel or standard lead load, 12 gauge, 2 ounce, 25 yards, and I'll compare it. Okay, here you see this would be a very, very dead turkey. That was 25 yards with a Winchester turkey load, copper plated, and number 5s. Again, now this time I'm going to shoot Browning BPS with a SRS or SRM Terra tube choke. This is a waterfowl choke designed for steel shot, but it's a .720, which is like a extra super full. It's tighter than the normal turkey choke, and we'll be doing this at 25 yards with 1 3/4 ounce of steel number 5, which is in pellet number is the same as 2.5 ounces of lead. So here we go. As you can see, this would also be a very dead turkey. There's a few flyers, but the center of the pattern is basically about a hand spread at 25 yards. A steel shot. In fact, that's what I got my turkey with this year in the video on YouTube, first turkey of 2014. There wasn't a second turkey. I never could get close enough to shoot, but that's how that goes sometimes. Okay, this time we're using a steel load of number 5s, 1 3/4 ounce, 10 gauge, and this time I'm shooting the 10 gauge over and under with a full choke. Fits choke. Let's see how this patterns. A little bit bigger than it was with the SRM Terra tube, but it looks like a pretty consistent pattern, and the pellets are sufficiently close enough it definitely would have killed a turkey. Let's talk ballistics, shall we? Regarding steel shot versus lead. The last few years, when we've gone turkey hunting, I have shot turkeys with steel shot. It's not required. I could take them with lead, but there's a couple reasons for that. For one thing, lead is poisonous to the environment, and of course we've all heard that. And where I hunt turkeys, sometimes I've seen golden eagles in the area, and if I happen to cripple one, I don't want the eagle to get lead poisoning. Another reason is I don't want to consume the lead myself. If some of the pellets happen to hit the body and end up in the meat, I don't want to digest it. So that's something to look at. Most of my shooting now is with steel shot, except maybe during dove season. In places that don't require steel, sometimes I'll buy cheap lead shells for that. But another reason I reload steel shells for turkey is usually I have materials left over from the waterfowl and upland bird seasons, so I can just throw something together, and rather than having to go and buy something off the shelf. And I prefer to use the 10 gauge for turkeys because of the large amount of pellets that I can fling at them. Now if the shot's close, then it doesn't really matter too much. But if you get out there 35, 40 yards or further, I want something that I know is going to have lots of pellets. But if you reload with steel, make sure that you follow the recipes to the letter. Because steel doesn't give like lead. In lead, when you reload lead, the wads have a little, like shock absorber in them. So that takes some of the energy away. Plus the lead itself absorbs some energy. Some of the pellets are crushed before they even get to what you're shooting at. With steel shot, it doesn't give, and usually it's in a shot cup with no type of absorption whatsoever. So it causes a spike in the breech pressure, the back of the gun. So if you overload them, use too many pellets, too much weight, load weight, or too much gunpowder, terrible things can happen. And at the end of this video, I'll show you, put a picture of what happened. Because normally I follow the recipes in the books, but I had trouble getting the gunpowder that I normally use, so I had to use something different. And I couldn't find any recipes for that, so there was a lot of guesswork involved. I finally worked out a formula that works, that doesn't create dangerous pressure, but all I could get velocity wise is no more than 1,300 feet per second. That's the best I could do with it, and it's simply because the powder burned faster, and with heavy loads you need something that burns a little slower so it can build up pressure. But in doing so, and trying to achieve the formula that worked, I blew the backs out of several shells and broke 2 shotguns. I was able to repair them. I didn't blow the barrels out or anything like that. It was the mechanism at the back of the gun that was the problem in one case. Another case, it was the forearm on the over and under shotgun. The forearm, a screw that held it on got sheared loose. It sheared clear off. So, but just to warn you, I mean, you can reload steel, but make sure you do it safely. Another reason you might want to reload with reload your own shells is you ever wonder what you got when you buy factory shells? Take them apart and look at them. Look at the pellets. That's what I did. I took Winchester apart, I took Remington apart, the Federal apart, and I was very surprised. In some of them, the pellets were not even close to being round. They looked like something someone would have picked up off the floor. Some of them didn't even resemble roundness. And some of them were round, but certain brands, I'm not going to name names unless someone writes a comment and asks me, then I will name names. But I wondered why I couldn't kill as many birds with their shells as I could with my reloads. Because when I buy reloads, when I buy the pellets, the shot, I look at it close, and the stuff that I buy is really round. It's really high quality, and that's what you need. Even though round is not a very aerodynamic shape, since you're shooting multiple projectiles out of a smoothbore, round's the best way to go. The only thing that really patterns good without being totally round is heavy shot. It's just so massive. It's got so much mass, so much weight, that with regular lead, you need them to be pretty round as possible, and with steel definitely. If you get steel shot that's not round, you got a problem, because it's going to fly all over the place. It'd be like, find out, take a handful of gravel and throw it and watch what it does. You see the rocks go all different directions. That's what can happen. So I definitely would advise you to take a look at what you're buying. Because some of them aren't cheap. Take a look and weigh the options. I prefer to reload, especially after seeing what I was buying.